How could I change Predator Ground's balance if it was up to me? You guys know that I complain about this all the time among all the problems on this game. The bugs, the exploit, the glitches, the cheats, the lack of content, all the wasted potential that this game was, all this stuff that they could have done different, that I thought I could have made better, more content, more maps, game modes, like different classes, like just more overall a better experience for both sides, like different fighting classes, more fighting classes, different predator classes that don't play out pretty much like out the same way, change like a lot of stuff into the balance so that the game doesn't get so one-sided and just limits the sides to have to play in a very specific way to win like in certain situations. So what would I do? You guys know that like me and pretty much like everyone that has a brain knows that the fighting is OP in this game. The fighting has the biggest advantage. The most that I ever saw in a symmetrical multiplayer game, and I played a few. I played Friday, I played Dead by Daylight, I played now, been playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this game, sure, like, it's the one that is the most unbalanced, for sure. Fighting just has such a stupid, insane advantage over the Predator that is just ridiculous. So, of course, I'm gonna nerf the fighting, that would be, like, the main focus, but if I can nerf, like, one or two things about the Predator that I know that can be annoying and, like, whatever, as long as a lot of stuff on the fighting side is nerfed. But I don't think it will like really solve that many issues in the game, because like you still would like have to like change a lot of the bugs, like fix the bugs, fix the exploits, like remove like the chances of people hacking this game, improving the anti-cheat engine. You know, there's so much stuff they could have done like with the balance between the classes. I think that not only like balance between fighting and predator, but also the balance between the classes should be done differently, because I feel like some classes are just way more powerful than the others. So that's like gonna be like the approach that I'm doing here. I would like balance the game, not just like nerfing the fighting, like for the most part, but like buffing like certain fighting classes that are a little bit weaker, nerfing specifically the ones that are the strongest one, and even for the predator, like I would like specifically buff certain classes, like mainly the weakest ones, and like the ones that are already like at the top, they can remain that way, but I would just like, as long as the fighting is nerfed, I think it would be like overall like okay for the predators. So the first thing that I would do, of course, is nerf the fighting more powerful classes. And as some of you guys have seen in my fighting classes ranking video, the best classes for the fighting, the meta ones, the ones that are actually the meta, the most overpowered ones, are Dante, Support, and Recon. And why? I mean, Dante and Support have Field Medic. First thing to go, like, we all know we are this special edition, we all hate it, Predator players hate it. Like, I remember like when it came out, people were like, this is stupid, like it just makes it too easy. You can just like instant revive people in 1 second. And back then it used to be stronger, because when people revive it, they were like almost at full HP. So it was just insane. Like Field Medic used to be even stronger, but then they nerfed the wrong part. They were supposed to nerf the speed, but then they're like nerfing the HP of the people that got revived. So like it's just like a potato assistance mechanic done by a phonic to like allow potatoes to survive longer. So first thing I would do is like fuck Field Medic. I would just remove the increased speed for the revive. I would just make it that way. If you get to revive with Field Medic, they get to revive with more HP. That's it, nothing more. I would just, the whole thing about the speed, no. Especially because there is the Dexterous perk, and it is a thing. So you have, fighting players already have a perk in the game that increases the interaction speed, and that counts for everything in the game for that interacts, including the revive. So they can already revive faster just by using Dexterous perk. So I don't want to risk like this stacking, even if I just like make it like Field Medic a little bit faster. This can stack with Dexterous, which is gonna be game breaking. So remove Field Medic, that's it. Just remove the increased speed. Field Medic, the only thing that it should be able to do is that if you get to revive, they're gonna have more HP. The one that gets revived has more HP. That's all. Other nerfs for the Dante and Support class, the damage resistance that they have. They have damage resistance, the Support has for proximity for the teammates. The teammates get 20% damage resistance when the Support class is close by. With Dante class, when he starts running, while running, his damage resistance goes up to 20%. So they both have 20% damage resistance. Dante for himself, Support for the teammates, and they can stack. So like a Dante that is running close to a Support, he's gonna have damage resistance of 40%, which is just insane. It's just stupid. Like, Dante is just too tanky, he just takes way too much damage. He's the only fighting class on the game that he can take up to 3 hits with the disc to be able to down. It's just silly, it's just stupid. So the damage resistance of both classes, I would decrease it like 10 at first. If I feel like 10% is still too much, I would decrease to even like 5. So for Dante, only 10% damage resistance while running. For the support, only 10% damage resistance to the teammates. And well, I would also probably nerf Dante a little bit more. Support is like, okay, he has high gear points, but he has low perk points, so it's kind of balanced, okay. For the Dante class, I think I would nerf the perks. Like, I think that, okay, he's supposed to be like more of a tanky guy. He already has like a high amount of HP. He can carry more gear. I would nerf the perks. Like, he has like, I think it's 10 perks. I would like decrease the perk points to like 9 or 8. Something like that. For the Recon class, why is the Recon class among the most overpowered ones? Because of the combination of having a tracker perk on it. If you put tracker on the Recon class, it's gonna stack with the passive of extended spotting duration. So tracker increases the spotting duration. Recon already has a passive that it makes it last longer. So when they're together, the Recon get a 9-second spotting duration. Every time the Recon spots the Predator is going to be spotted for 9 seconds. It's like a wall hack in the game. Just make it very easy. Every time the Recon spots the Predator, it's like a cock block for the Predator. The Predator cannot do anything for 9 seconds. And he can just keep doing that over and over. And you can have more than one guy spotting the Predator. It's just insane. It's like a wall hack pretty much. And you can even do that with PDL. So you don't even have to manually spot the Predator. You can just like shoot the PDL. If the Predator gets in contact with the PDL, they just gotta get spotted for 9 seconds. I already showed videos of how overpowered this is, you know. So I would just like, yeah, do something about that. The spotting overall in this game, I feel like it's kind of broken, especially because the fighting weapons are hit scan and there is no bullet drop. As long as the Predator is spotted and there is nothing blocking the shots, you can kill the Predator, hit the Predator, shoot the Predator, and just across the map. Like, you can always hit the Predator as long as there is nothing blocking the way. Just, if you aim at the spotting marker, the green icon of the Predator, he's gonna get damage. Like, he can do that across the map. You can have like 4 people doing that. 4 people shooting the Predator, and they have like this, pretty much like even without the Recon Tracker, the spotting mechanic is pretty much like a wall hack. You can always know what the Predator is. Like, it's just like very strong against the Predator in general. So I would do something about that. I don't think that working, like, as I had some people say that maybe the green icon should only stay where the Predator was when he was spotted, like not tracking. Like, that was the main problem. But I would keep it because, okay, I get it, it's a game mechanic, it's part of the game. I don't want to make changes that are like too much, like that would like change a lot about the game, or too hard. Like, the things that I'm proposing here are gonna be just easy stuff, like just like changing numbers. That would be easy for Iphonic, you know. I'm just talking about, oh, they change the number of seconds that it takes for field medic. Just remove field medic. It's like a fast removal, that's all. Change the number of the damage resistance of Dante and support. It doesn't, you know, I'm just mentioning and like giving like small little changes that are easy to make. Like, you just change a little bit numbers. It's not hard. Like, it would not be hard for Iphonic to do any of these changes if they, you know, they put a little bit of effort into their game, but they gave up on it. But what would I do for this spotting? I would just decrease the spotting base duration to from 2 seconds. So the base duration for the spotting is 4 seconds. I would just drop it to 2 seconds. And then Recon, Recon is gonna have the 4 seconds duration. The normal base duration in this game is gonna last for 4 seconds on the Recon. And the tracker pair gives 2 more seconds. So like, if the base damage for the spotting would be like 2 seconds in the game, Recon can have it for 4 seconds because he has the passive of longer spotting duration for the Predator. And the tracker pair gives 2 seconds more. So the most you will be able to spot a Predator in this game would be by using Recon Tracker. But instead of 9 seconds, it would be 6 seconds. So it would be like a little bit more fair. It wouldn't be like so annoying for the Predator to be spotted for so long. Other stuff that I would change, Fnatic, of course. It's not even like a nerf, it would be like more of a fix. Fnatic is bugged, as you guys know. There's the enhanced Fnatic bug. There is even the normal one that I already said that the normal one was already OP enough, but then people found a way to break it even more. Like, the bug with Fanatics that it's supposed to only work, you're only supposed to have the buff to damage and speed while you're below 50% HP. But if you heal with Surats, it stays on, so it's a bug. I would fix that, like, just fix it instantly. Other changes to fighting classes. I think that Assault, the Operative, and maybe Scout. I think that I would make the damage resistance of the Scout also drop to 10%. Same thing with Dante. Dante, I would also make that the Scout damage resistance while running drop from 20 to 10%. Because I feel like he's just a little bit too tanky. He's supposed to not be so tanky, you know, because I Scout while running He just like has tanky, has a support in practice, so I think that it shouldn't be. Assault and Theoperative, I think it's okay. Oh, Dutch 87 and Dutch 2025. I would change some stuff. I would do some minor nerf to Dutch 1987, and I would buff Dutch 2025. I would change one of their passives. So the hip fire damage buff that the no, it would be like the damage resistance, the mud damage resistance that the Dutch 87 has, which is 10%, which is, I think it's okay. 10% is okay. I would give it to Dutch 2025, and Dutch 2025 hip fire accuracy, I would give it to Dutch 87. So Dutch 87 would have more damage or hip firing, and hip fire accuracy would have like action hero by default. And Dutch 2025 would have the passives of like a faster mud up duration, and he would have more damage resistance while being mudded, so he would be tankier. So Dutch 87 would be less tanky, and I would even maybe decrease the perk points, like from, I think Dutch 87 has 11 perk points, is that it? I would drop it to 10, just 1 point less. And it's gonna be okay, because if the Dutch 87 has hipfire accuracy, it's like he has action hero, so you don't have to put action hero on Dutch 87. So I would just make it like that. I would just decrease like the 1 perk point on Dutch 87, and I would just trade the passives. Dutch 87 would still be okay. He would still be like a very strong class, because not only has hipfire accuracy, he has action hero by default as a passive, but he does more damage or hip firing. So actually that would help him with the damage, but he just wouldn't be so tanky, because I think the problem with Dutch 87, why it's so OP, not only because he has Fanatic, but also because he can both do a lot of damage and he's also too tanky. So I would just like making less tanky and assist more on the damage on him. Dutch 2025, he's gonna be more tanky now. He would be able to take more damage. He can already have with thick skin up to 185 HP, and he's gonna have 10% damage resistance while being mudded. So that's gonna be like over 200 damage. So he's gonna be very tanky. And I would also buff the gear points. I would buff his gear points to 10, so he would be able to carry either medikits or ammo or UAV scanner. So it would be, I'm actually buffing the fighting in this case, I mean in this class, because Dutch 2025 is the second worst class in the game for the fighting. So I just don't think it should be the case. I think that the classes should be like all around the same level, which is why I'm nerfing the S-tier classes like Dante Support and Recon. And then I would be able to buff Dutch 2025 and also buff Isabel. It's gonna be up next. But yeah, Dutch 2025, he would be able to have more gear. So he would be like this middle area between support and assault. He wouldn't be as tanky as the support class, and like he wouldn't be able to carry as much gear, but he's almost there. He could be able to carry a little bit more gear and be a little bit more tanky. He's supposed to be more like a stealthy tanky, because he can mud up faster. I think the classes would be more interesting that way. I think that the both Dutch classes would be more interested if they really traded these passive abilities that they have. Isabel, or poor little worst fighting class in the game. What would I do with her? I think increase perk points and HP. Like, I think that gear is okay, but I would just buff her like that. I would just increase the perk points to like maybe 13. I don't think there is any fighting class that has 13 perk points. So 13 perk points. Her HP can be like the same as assault, whatever. Like, can be 150 by default. Just a little bit okay. So then all the fighting classes are gonna be like all around the same level. You know, I still think that maybe I should buff Dante a little bit more. I mean, I should nerf. Forget what I said. I should nerf Dante a little bit more, because I feel like he's still gonna be like OP in some way. But well, those would be like the changes that I would make for the fighting classes. For the weapons, I think that, to be honest, I would only nerf the damage of the 1011. It's the weapon with a little pistol. He's just so powerful in this game, you know. She's just can do so much damage per second. Like, when you're firing it fast, when you have a fast finger, or you're one of those guys that use macros, whatever, like, you can just do so much damage at such short amount of time, and such high damage at short amount of time in this game on the predators up close. I would just nerf the damage of that weapon, and I would buff the damage of the worst fighting weapons, like the shotguns, maybe a little bit the submachine guns. The plasma rifle needs a buff. So yeah, some people might say, oh, you just want to nerf the fighting because because technically I'm not even a predator main, because there's a lot of like this you versus us you versus them, or like whatever like thing in this game, like Fireteam players against Predator players. There's this rivalry, you know. People think that, oh, you just have a bias. Predator players just want to nerf the fight, they just want to have easy wins, and vice versa. Well, actually, I play both sides pretty much the same. I think I have played more Fireteam than Predator in this game, actually, despite being more known for my Predator gameplay. So actually, like, people are gonna say, oh, you just want to nerf the Fireteam. No, I want to make it fair, and that's exactly what I'm talking about here. What are the changes that I'm talking about are just to make the game more fair. So I feel like it would be more fair and more balanced if like the fighting didn't have to always use the same meta weapons. So like I'm trying to nerf the stuff that the fighting that needs to be nerfed, and buff this stuff because I know that there's stuff in the fighting that could be buffed, like the shotguns, the plasma rifles, submachine guns, the worst classes. That's what I'm doing here. So like I know some people are gonna say, oh, you have a bias, you just want the Predator to be super strong, you don't want to give the fighting a chance. I mean, come on. That is just stupid. It's just stupid. Like I have showcased so much video proof of how overpowered the fighting in this game, and anyone that disagrees with me, just like try playing Predator against me and the others. Like, and even with a Predator buff, I still don't think most people would be able to win again anyway. So yeah, I would just do something about the weapons, because everybody knows that the meta in this game is either using for primary the Hammerhead and the Soul Sniper, and the 10-11 for secondary. It's just like, but the secondary 10-11 is just like, the damage per second is just way too high. Hammerhead cannot do as much damage like in such a short amount of time. And the Souls, I know the Souls is insane, but instead of nerfing the Souls, I would just increase the Predator's HP of every single class by 50%. So at first, might be necessary to increase it even more, but instead of nerfing other fighting weapons, like I would just nerf the 10-11 because it's really like comparison to the other ones, it's just too strong, especially while comparing to other secondary weapons. So nerf the 10-11 pistol, buff the shotguns, buff the submachine guns. Just, I don't know like exactly how much would be, but I would have to test it, like, but just buff it. Buff the shotguns, buff the submachine guns, buff the plasma rifle. Just make those weapons like usable, you know, in more situations, in situations where the Predator is actually good. Because usually they're just too bad in the game, you know. Make shotguns actually be a threat up close. That's what I think that it should be done. And then for the weapons, that's it. But like I said, I wouldn't nerf like the other weapons, but I would buff the Predator's HP. Predators are just way too easy to kill in this game. Like even in a 1v1, you can take the damage of one Predator just way too fast. Like even if you are playing alone, if you just one fighting just has the capacity to do way too much damage to a Predator in a short amount of time. It's just way too much, and that is like not just the meta weapons. I'm not even talking about the Hammerhead. You can use any assault rifle in the game apart from the plasma rifle. Like just use the first assault rifle in the game. You can take like a Predator's HP very fast with that thing. Like I think that all the assault rifles in this game, pretty much like one clip is enough to like remove like all the Predator's HP. You can even use it. You don't even have to use Hammerhead. The other ones can do a lot of damage as well, apart from the plasma rifle. But like the hit scan ones, they are all very powerful. So Predator needs more HP. It's just way too easy. Like even without the 10-11, even if you are using just like assault rifles, it's just way too easy to take out the Predator's HP. So I would buff every single class HP by 50%. Predator is gonna be a little tankier. They're gonna have to do like 50% more damage to be able to second in the Predator. And I don't think it's gonna be hard. To be honest, it's really not gonna be hard, because I had people that played with me has the Predator with like 200% more HP, like double HP, triple HP, and even then against certain fighting players, it was not enough. The Predator still lost the match. So I'm just saying. Other stuff that I would change about would be like buff certain Predator classes. The worst classes in the game: Berserker, Samurai, Viking, like these low melee ones. I know that they are supposed, like, is their stats, is their characteristic, they're supposed to be slow, you know, they're supposed to be built for melee. It doesn't work because, well, speed is a big factor in this game, and fighting damage prevents you from being able to come up close with melee. So like if the fighting damage is a little bit lower, I mean 10-11, and the Predator has more HP, the melee Predators can actually have a chance of coming up close to use melee. But what I would change, but I still don't think it would be enough, because they still have too much negatives, you know. They're still too slow, they still don't have enough stamina, so they cannot do much melee attacks. But I would just make every single melee attack be worth more. So what I would do to like Berserker, Samurai, Viking, I would increase the melee damage. Just they already have like a melee damage passive. Berserker does 10% more damage, more melee damage. Viking is 13, Samurai is 6%, Alpha also like 6%. So what I would do at first, like the first thing that I would do with those classes are like, in theory, they are designed by Phonic to be used for melee, to be used for close combat. I would just make it that like using, there's like a reason to why you would use like melee weapons on those classes, because their passive of more melee damage is even higher, like is higher than what any other class, higher than it already is. Because I think that as of now, like 10% more melee damage like is really not much, like consider how the game works. That's why nobody uses Berserker. That's why Berserker is the worst one, apart from like the shit parry points. So like Berserker just has way too much negatives. He has like low stamina, low speed, low perk points. Sure, he has a lot of gear, but like it's just not enough. So I would just like try to make like the classes more like in the same level. So but I still don't want to like to change it a little too much, because like if the Scout is the class that is supposed to have a lot of stamina and speed, Berserker should be like the opposite of the Scout. So what I would do is just like buff the melee damage. I would like give like 30% more melee damage. I would just like be 3 times more melee damage with the Berserker. Make it like, so like if you want to use melee, like there is no reason why you should like use Hunter instead of the Berserker, because actually right now, as of now, Hunter is like completely better than the Berserker, even for melee. Hunter has more stamina, so you can do more melee attacks. Hunter has more speed, like you need to move around while you're doing melee attacks. He has more perk points. More perk points allow for better perk combinations that can like assist you in more melee. You can use Impenetrable, Fearless, and you still have more points left for more. You cannot use that combination of Berserker because that costs 10 points. You cannot put like Fearless and Impenetrable so you can like take more damage and do more melee damage with the Berserker. You can do that with Hunter class, and you even have more like 2 points left for more. So even like now, Hunter class is better for melee than the Berserker just because of that. So like I would make it so like that the classes are like, in theory, that Iphonic made for melee, they actually have a reason to be used for melee because they can do a lot more melee damage. So I would like make it. Then 30% more melee damage for the Berserker, for Viking as well. Samurai maybe 20% since Samurai is a little bit faster and has more stamina. For Samurai, I would like buff the perk points, maybe just by 1 or 2. Also perk points on the Chopper, Copper, whatever class. He's just like a mess. Copper class is like a mess because he's like a scout, pretty much like a scout with less perk points, so he cannot use Impenetrable, because with his scout class, he has more perk points, but like you are forced to use Impenetrable just to make it equal to a Hunter, otherwise his HP is just too low. So like I would buff Chopper's perk points because he already has a lot of shit energy. Like his energy is already like the worst one in the game. So I don't think it's fair. He could like, you can even like decrease his gear points a little bit, but he needs a buff to the perk points for sure. Other like what are the other bad Predator classes? Alpha. Alpha is like okay. I would just buff like Alpha melee damage. I would like buff to the Samurai, Alpha, Valkyrie as well. Maybe make their melee damage 20%, and then Viking, Cleopatra, and Berserker, their melee damage could be like 30%. So they can do a lot of the melee damage. Like it's gonna be worth it if you want. And people gonna say, oh, you're talking about melee. Then imagine the damage of the X. Sure, if the Predator has 50% more HP and the Fireteam Pistol 10-11 does less damage, then okay, we can nerf the X. Nerf the X secondary attack, like I don't know, it does like 100. We can nerf it like to 80, maybe nerf more. But like I just want to make it so like the melee weapons, like you can decrease the damage of certain melee weapons. You can decrease the melee damage on like the X, maybe the sickle, maybe the hook secondary as well. Because like even if you nerf those melee weapons, it's not gonna be much of a problem for the Predator classes that are built for melee, because they already have like a high passive for melee. So like they already can do a lot of melee damage by default, you know. So it would be I just want to make it so that it's not worth using melee weapons on other classes, you know. Like there is no, it would be like put you in a big disadvantage, like to use like a melee weapon on like the Hunter or the Scout. No, make more of a difference. Sure, they are in a disadvantage. I mean, the Scout clearly is in a disadvantage in comparison like Viking, because the Scout does less melee damage. I think it's 5%, and the Viking does 13% more. So that they have like a difference of 18% more melee damage. Sure, but actually in practice is not that significant considering the fighting damage. It doesn't make like 18% more melee damage, doesn't make that much difference. Especially because the Scout has Ghost. Well, Berserker, Viking don't have Ghost, so they cannot do that much more melee damage. So classes like the Samurai and the Valkyrie, they would be able to do insane damage with Ghost. Like their damage is gonna be insane because there's gonna be like 20% more melee damage by passive, and then 30% more melee damage with Ghost. So it's gonna be insane. So since those classes can do so much more melee damage by default, we can nerf some of the melee weapons that do more damage. It's okay to we can nerf the damage of the axe. You know, I just don't. I think the problem with the game is that there's just certain stuff on both sides that can do way too much damage at a short amount of time. So the game is just very glass cannon in some situations. Sure, it's more fighting sided. I mean, if you are playing like 4 fighting players, can easily like out damage like anything the Predator can do. Apart from the disc, and that's the next thing that I want to talk about. The disc. I feel like that the disc is just way too more powerful than the other Predator classes. If you, of course, if it's like in ideal conditions, like the low ping. If the Predator has low ping, if it's like day map, I mean, I need to talk about night maps as well, damn it. But I'll just mention that soon. But the disc, if we compare to like the combat stick, because I usually like my primary weapon, like I usually trade I either use the disc or the combat stick for one slot, and in the other slot I either put the bow or the plasma pistol. So the disc is just too powerful in comparison to the other weapons, because it's the only weapon that can do like more than 1 damage in one shot pretty much, because all the other weapons, like they can do like 1 damage, and like sure, plasma caster has splash damage, but with the disc you can just keep flying the disc in the air. Like I shown in videos, like the most that I got with the disc was 9 hits, and that's like 9 hits of the highest damage in the game. Not only the smart disc has the highest damage on the game, which is 125 by default. Plasma caster charger shot is 120. The headshot with the combat stick, I think it can go up to 117. That's like the default damage, which you can increase with downrange and specialization as well. But like the damage of the disc is just the highest in the game. Not only that, but you can do multiple hits. Like I managed to hit like 9 times once, like so that's like 125 damage 9 times, like in multiple players. Like the amount of damage per second that the disc can do is just insane. You can hit like a single fighting 4 times while it's flying, which is like an insta kill. You can hit them twice while they're up, twice again when they're down in a very fast swings. Like you can just turn it around very fast. No other Predator weapon can compete. And on top of that, the Predator has 3 smart discs. That's like something that I always like. I wonder why because back then the smart disc used to be only 1, so the Predator only had like 1 smart disc. But then they increased it to 3, and I get it, because back then nobody used the disc. It was like a bad weapon. The flight was not very good. They changed the flight. It would just get stuck, and it was very easy for the Fireteam to destroy. So what I would do with this, like I would just decrease the smart discs to just 1 again. I would just revert it back to 1, but it's gonna be indestructible, just like the combat stick. Because I remember like when they buffed the disc, people are like, why are they increasing the discs? I mean, and not the combat stick, because I think that one of the reasons they increased the disc was because it could get stuck, it could like be bugged. Not only it was destroyable by the Fireteam, and so like nobody would use, because if you get stuck once, the Fireteam could easily destroy. The HP was even lower, was just very low back then. They buffed the disc speed as well. I mean the disc HP. So why did they increase the disc and not the combat stick? Because the combat stick can also get stuck. You can also lose your combat stick. So like the smart disc in comparison to like the combat stick, not only he can do more damage just in 1 hit, he can do like damage multiple times, and there's 3 of them and only 1 combat stick. So I would just reduce the smart disc just 1, but it's gonna be indestructible. You cannot destroy it. No, destroying a Predator weapon is just stupid. I don't know why Funnick made it. Like this is the only game where you can destroy the Predator smart disc. Is just stupid. And I might even decrease the damage a little bit, because even with just 1 smart disc, the Fireteam can be like hit by multiple times while it's flying. So yeah, I think the damage is a little bit too high. I mean, people were playing high sensitivity, so like if the smart disc is indestructible, like I don't want the Fireteam players to destroy it. If the Predator has more damage, if the Fireteam 10-11 does less damage, like since I'm already nerfing certain Fireteam classes, since I'm already nerfing Fireteam classes, I increased the Predator's HP, and I decreased the 10-11 damage. I think it's okay to nerf the smart disc damage. Just like I nerfed it, I said it's okay to nerf like the X damage, the Alpha Sickle damage, maybe, whatever. So I would just nerf the smart disc overall, like in the game. I mean, in a little buff, which is gonna make it indestructible. Like nerf the amount of smart discs, nerf the damage, and make it indestructible, so the Predator doesn't have to worry. And I think I feel like I need to do something about because if we have only 1 smart disc, there's still always the chance, I mean, unless we fix any bugs about it, but still there's always the chance that the smart disk is gonna get bugged, it's gonna lose your smart disk because it gets stuck like under the map, it gets like you lose your smart disk. And this also works for it, this also counts for the combat stick. So what I would do is that after a certain time, if you don't get your combat stick and your smart disk after a certain time, like because probably you cannot get it, I would like add like this key that if you press it, it goes back to you. I don't care, like the smart disk should go back to you, like I mean, because like I think it's like there's like a control for it, so like I think it makes sense. Sure, the combat stick shouldn't be able to go back to the Predator, because of gameplay reasons, because I think it's unfair because of a bug for the Predator to lose one of his weapons, be either the smart disk or the combat stick. After a certain amount of time, it becomes available for the Predator to press a key, which gives him instantly the smart disk and the combat stick back. I would make it like that just to give the Predator a little help in situations where his weapon get bugged. Plasma pistol, I think it's okay the way it is. The bow also, like, pretty much, I would just like, I think it's not really about balance, about fixing bugs. I would just fix the problems with just like the hitboxes, like especially the ones that makes the projectile shoot sideways. It's just like a more of a bug fix. Sometimes the arrows and the plasma pistol or plasma caster shots can shoot sideways. That's just terrible. That should be fixed. Plasma caster, maybe decrease a little bit of the damage. I think it's okay. Like I said, if the Fireteam Bass classes have been nerfed, if the Predator has more HP, if the 10-11 pistol has been nerfed, I think it's okay for some Predator weapons to be nerfed. Just Smart Disc, X, Plasma Caster, maybe the Alpha Sickle, whatever. But I think that's like pretty much it. Like other Predator classes, other changes to Predator classes that I would do. Maybe increase the energy, because after I started using more, I guess I pretty much like main Wolf, Pirate, Celtic Scar. After I started using more of the S-tier Predator classes, which they have more, and not only more energy but infinite thermal, I started to notice how much in a disadvantage the Hunter, like default class, is in regards to energy, and how much of an important stat the energy is in this game. So what I would do, I would probably buff the energy of certain classes. I'm okay with like Scout, maybe even in this Scout, maybe I would like buff the energy of a lot of the classes, like Hunter definitely, Hunter, City Hunter, Valkyrie. Oh yeah, Valkyrie Amazon is something that I want to discuss. Valkyrie, I would buff the perk points to what it was before, because Valkyrie, I would make Valkyrie like it was at launch. Valkyrie was tankier, and she had more perk points. I would make it like that. I definitely like make it like that. I would make it so that, because they make her strong at launch, then people complain because people are potatoes. Because I mean, she already had like low gear points, so it's okay for Valkyrie to have more HP and more perk points because she cannot carry enough gear. So I think it's like fine. Like, to be honest, I think it's fine. I would make it, and pretty much like, and then later they made the Amazon, which Amazon is pretty much like a better Valkyrie, like in the not only a better Valkyrie, she was like what Valkyrie used to be at launch, and even better. So like Amazon is like completely superior to the Valkyrie, so I would like buff the Valkyrie in regards to that. I would just make, I think that, okay, Valkyrie gets more HP, perk points, and energy. So Valkyrie is gonna have like, it's gonna be pretty much like the same as the Amazon, but with a little bit more energy. But still, I think she's still gonna be, I don't think she, wait, I think she's gonna be pretty much like the same, but with more energy. But okay, maybe a little bit more HP, but not as much as the Amazon. No, just make the Valkyrie have same HP as the Hunter. So like she's like a Amazon with more energy, but less HP. Yeah, thanks. I'm just trying to. I think that the classes, like, because if you guys saw my Predator rank entire class rank entire video as well, like they're like the S tiers, there are A, B, C, D. You know, they're just too far away from each other. So like, just like I said, like I try to buff the worst ones, which are Berserker, Viking, Samurai, and Chopper. By changing that, I think that the ones in the middle should also be buffed, and like I would just not nerf, like the S tier ones. I would not nerf any Predator class, you know, because like Predators are the ones in the disadvantage. I would just buff the ones at the bottom, like the worst classes need a buff. Also Scout, I think that Scout, Falconer, and Exalt should have a stat that is not available in the game, which would be for more ranged damage. Because those classes are supposed to be used for ranged, so if the Berserker classes are supposed to be used for melee and they have more melee damage, what I would do is that Scout, Exalt, and Falconer, they can do more range damage. And I know this is gonna, a lot of people don't like this because this is gonna stack with downrange, this is gonna stack with Analytics, Stalker, but I would like put like 10% more range damage. And I don't think it's gonna be that much of a problem because I already like nerfed the Smart Disc and the Plasma Caster. So I would just make it that the Scout-like classes would be like, even Chopper. Chopper as well. I think that would be good for him. Chopper, Falconer, Exalt, Scout, they can do more range damage. Definitely. For other classes, I don't know, like, I think Mr. Black is like mostly okay as he is. Like, he still won't be able to be as good as some of the S-tiers. I think that I would not touch much like the A-tier Predator classes. The A-tier are gonna be mostly okay. Apart from like Hunter and City Hunter, maybe they need more energy. Maybe Mr. Black could have like one more perk point, maybe. I don't know. There's just more discussion, but like I think the balance-wise, I think most of the things that I would change in the game are pretty much like this that I mentioned. I might just make some little changes here and there among the Predator classes. I would like need to like evaluate all the classes because I want to make like so that there's like only like 2 or 3 tiers of Predator class. I want to make all Predator classes in the same level. Not only the same level, but they can like have different playstyles that can actually work, which is like the melee playstyle. So that's why I'm trying to buff like the different like the melee Predator class. Oh, Mr. Black can have more melee damage. Yeah, I forgot about it. Mr. Black is because I always use Mr. Black for plasma builds because he has high energy. But I would just like a simple solution to Mr. Black would just give him more melee damage. He can have 30% more melee damage, just like the Viking and the Berserker, pretty much. Like I'll just only buff Mr. Black melee damage so that he can actually be used for a melee class. Because right now, Mr. Black is just much more effective for plasma usage. Viking and Berserker not so much, but like Mr. Black is just great for plasma. So for the specializations, I would just I think I will do something about things like Brute, Warrior. I don't think they're very effective. Focus is a terrible specialization. I would just I think I would remove Focus from the game, to be honest. I would just give the, like Wolf. Wolf has Focus. I would just give him Tracker or Analytic. I think Tracker with Wolf would be cool. I would just like change some specializations here and there. I would just give more Tracker to more classes, to be honest. I would give Tracker to both Wolf and maybe Celtic, I don't know, because the only class to have Tracker, I think it like has it as like intended by Iphonic. It's just Hunter, Jungle Hunter, Capture, which are the same class, and Falconer. Is that it? I think that more classes should have Tracker. I think Amazon should have Tracker. I think she would be good with Tracker. So just some minor changes here and there. But well, that's pretty much it. I think you guys got the overall idea that I'm doing here. Like, it's major like like for the most part, there are like buffs and nerfs to both sides. More nerfs on the fighting sides, of course. I'm like nerfing the most overpowered stuff on the fighting because yeah, the most overpowered stuff in the game is on the fighting side. Nerfing a little bit overpowered stuff that can be overpowered, of course, on the Predator side, and then buffing like the worst stuff for both sides, like the worst fighting classes, the worst fighting weapons, and same thing for the Predators. Just overall like a little buff also to like some of the worst stuff for the Predators, like. And just like I would just like overall like buff to Predator HP, but I would just not nerf like I'm not gonna nerf like the best Predator classes in any way, to be honest. I would just keep them as they are because like I said, the Predators are the ones into disadvantage in the current balance. So oh yeah, night mode. I would just fix the cloak in night mode, make it that it doesn't show up so easily for the Predator. And then to be honest, there's not much. I mean, it's still too hard for the Predator to see the fighting in night mode. What would I do to make it easier for the Predator to see the fighting on night mode? Damn, I don't know. Maybe give the fighting flashlights that they cannot like disable it instead of night vision, because nobody uses night vision. So maybe give the fighting flashlights so the Predator can always kind of know where they are. If they want to see better, they need to use flashlights and the Predator can spot them. Oh yeah, another thing. Predator mask HP, I would double it. Like Predator has 50% more HP. For the mask, I would give the Predator mask 100% more HP. So it's gonna take twice much damage to be able to take a Predator mask off. That's gonna be 4 sniper assault shots to be able to take down the Predator mask. Yeah, I think that would be fair. Especially because night mode is a thing. It's not fair for the Predator to lose the mask. Oh, I just lost my mask. Yeah, it's not fair. That wouldn't have happened if I balanced this game. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys think that I forgot anything, if you guys want to have my opinion about something in the game, something about in regards to balance, just make a comment about it if you guys are still watching the video, and I can just make a comment about it. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys like it, what I had to say in regards to the balance, and agree with me in my points. I hope that I was able to like explain it well, why I think these changes would be overall be more fair for the game, would be better, the game would improve by doing these changes, and it would be like give overall a much better, more balanced and fair experience for both sides on this game.